Welcome to the Final Hour Podcast, coming to you from the original Living Word Christian Center out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. My name is Jim Hammond.
I'm Linnea Farrell.
I'm John Gale.
And I'm JD.
So before we get into it, what we're going over today is regarded by commentators as the most detailed prophecy on the end times in the Old Testament. But before we do that, thought it was interesting with the, they had a liberal Lollapalooza over the weekend. The No Kings, and it turned out to be 7 million people. So kind of the way I look at that is that's 7 million out of what, 360 million Americans?
It's not very many, less than 10%.
Interestingly, did you see the major sponsors of the No Kings rallies?
George Soros. 3 million.
But there's 3 or 4 different communist programs that donated millions of dollars to put on the No Kings rally.
And I heard from a bunch of people when they went, they're like, where's all the young people? It's like all a bunch of old people.
Right.
But
oh, that's good.
I don't
remember in the 50s, if they thought anything was communist, they just went after it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Remember when they thought that the
McCarthy
movies,
hearings
the McCarthy hearings, the movie stars, and the producers and the directors were all communists.
Right.
And now we just allow communist organizations to pay for these protests. You know what I mean?
It's it's not. I mean, it's almost a badge of honor for a liberal to say they're a communist.
But did you guys see that MSNBC was showing footage from a 2017 rally? Like they showed the streets packed with people, and they got caught for like it being from a 2017 rally.
Like,
and then did you see? This is funny.
Or a terrible news organization.
I think this is funny, but did you see that one kid? Trump makes a video where he's flying in an airplane and like. He is like bombing with crap,
Harry
I guess
Sisson.
it is. Yeah. But
he's bombing the liberals with crap.
And this kid gets hit, and he's like, I don't know why Trump like put poop on me. And JD Vance replies back, let me ask him, Harry. That goes viral. So then it's Trump in the fighter jet with the King's hat on.
Yeah.
And then Trump replies after probably JD Vance says, hey, the left's like kind of freaking out about this. And it's Trump like putting the crown on.
Yeah.
And then he walks out. And it's, remember when George Floyd happened and everybody was bowing, taking a knee?
Right.
And it was everybody, all the Democrats taking a knee. And it was Donald
just
Trump
trolling
standing there. And then the Harry guys going on all these left-wing things saying that like he's hurt because Trump did that to him and he expects more from a president. I just was like, what are we doing? I mean, it was kind of funny, right? Like the whole thing, but Harry, what a baby.
He expects more from a president.
While the No Kings,
Harry's getting
like 4 years of Joe Biden.
While the No
not
King,
knowing where he was.
Right. And while the No King rallies were literally calling for Trump assassination, they're mocking Charlie Kirk's death.
Right.
And you're mad that like crap got thrown on your head.
Right.
Okay.
In an AI video. It's not even it's not even close to real. It's not violent. It's just silly.
One more thing. Who was the lady who was a press secretary? Karine
Karine Jean-Pierre.
Okay. So
Jean-Luc Picard.
So
don't you dare.
I call her Jean-Luc Picard.
Besmirch Captain Jean-Luc Picard like that.
That's what I think of when I see that lady with the curly hair.
The bald guy. He's
looks like
Patrick Stewart.
She looks like a doll.
She does look like a doll.
He could be in Paul Dark.
Paul
Dark.
John, don't rip on Paul.
Dork.
Anyways, she was on The View, you guys, and she was explaining. Okay, we'll talk about Paul Dark after. Why do you bother me with it? But she was saying that the No Kings protest was not a left-wing funded event. She was trying to say that the No Kings rally was the right. And I was like, what? She was like, the Democrats don't do things like that. And I was like, that is your side, woman.
That's very specific.
But now she's an independent.
Yeah. I'm sure she is.
So today,
switching gears.
No Kings, 7 million people. That was their big splash. A liberal Lollapalooza that no one paid attention to.
Funded by George.
You lost, right? You guys lost, and you're going to lose again. And I think you're going to lose in the midterms. I really do.
If you'd have done that in Trump's voice, that would have been phenomenal. That sounded like him.
Fake
you're going to
news.
lose.
You're gonna
lose big.
Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry.
You're going to lose. You're going to lose so big.
It's not bad, Jerry.
It's really good, actually.
But
Makes me giggle.
Like this is Daniel 11:36 through 45 here. And remember, this angel is still speaking from chapter 10. And he skips an entire time period here. And we see that in the first 35 verses, which what we've done. He's prophesying about the latter time period in the 400 years between the Old Testament and the New Testament. He's actually prophesying everything that happens between the Seleucid dynasties, king of the north, and the Ptolemy dynasties, king of the south. And so hundreds of years in advance, Daniel prophesied this. Look it up in history. Syria and Egypt with Israel in between. It nails it, chapter 11. But now we take a different turn. It nails history before history even happened, all right? And that's what's amazing about these 30 verses. But starting with the Daniel 11:35, and some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them, to purge, and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed. Very interesting. Think about that. If you just turn to Daniel and you get into verse 11, you're not going to know what that means. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to tell you what it means. This is where the account of the end time begins. So we're switching gears here. He's going from that time period of the 400 years between the Old and the New Testament, zip to right now. All right, right now, or in the next, in my opinion, 5 to 10 years. And it continues all the way through the 12th chapter. And what that, to try them and purge them, what we just read, is referring to the 7 year tribulation. You can see in the phrase, for it is yet to be at the time appointed, is again referring to the 7 year tribulation for what we just read. In Daniel 11:36, the king shall do according to his will. This is a different king here. This is not the Seleucid king. This is not the Egyptian king, the Ptolemy and the Seleucids. And he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and he shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished, for that is determined shall be done. So you can see where he gets one of the names in the Bible. He's called the willful king because it's according to his will. This is referring to the Antichrist. All right, so the angel, he switches time periods on Daniel here. And you have in the phrase, magnify himself above every god. You can see if you look it up in 2 Thessalonians 2:4, he actually deifies himself. The Antichrist makes himself for God. And more or less, it's saying that he declares war on Jesus Christ and speaks such marvelous things against our God that people are astounded at his blasphemy. Then it says he shall prosper till the indignation is accomplished. It's saying the world will join him in their hatred of God, our God, Jehovah, and anything that has to do with our God. I think we see that happening.
Yeah.
I think the last remnants of a country that we're probably less than half Christian, right? Now,
I would say
would be America. All these other countries. What is France? France is less than 1%.
Less than 1%, yeah.
1% Christian. So we're at the end of this. If you think about it, the United States of America really are the only things that are keeping,
as far as a power goes, because you got like Hungary, Poland, they're pushing back on kind of the overtaking.
They're still tied up in the European Union.
Definitely.
You know, they're run in essence, by the European Union. It says, but listen to this, he shall prosper to the indignation is accomplished, is saying the world will join him. And they have. In Daniel 11:37, neither shall he regard the God of his fathers. This is the best information probably in the Bible on the Antichrist, nor the desire of women, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all. Many opinions that conflict I'm going to try to give you all these opinions. Many scholars, many commentators believe, because the phrase, neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, means that they think the Antichrist is going to be Jewish.
Right.
A lot of these scholars believe that the Jews will accept them as their Messiah. Remember, Jesus in Matthew 24 warns and warns and warns about if anyone
false
says they're the Christ,
right?
Anyone shows up and tells you they're the Christ. Well, we Googled that one day. There's like 9 of those dudes, right?
Yeah, we did. Mm-hmm.
There's like 9 guys out there saying they're Jesus Christ right now.
Right.
And they picture how you would think they would look.
Right.
If you Google all the guys that say they're Jesus Christ, he's warning the Jews. Matthew 24 is to the Jews. They had asked him, what happens in the end?
Right.
So he's telling them, if anyone says they're the Christ, right, there's going to be false Christ. And so a lot of these scholars believe the Jews will accept him as their Messiah, with a lot of the world thinking the same thing. We've got scholars who think he's going to join Islam and Judaism together somehow.
Yeah.
Think about this. If he could do that, all the world has been looking for an answer for the conflict between the Jews and Islam for many, many centuries. But listen, what we just read, the phrase, nor the desire of woman. A lot of opinions on this. Some scholars believe that he's going to be a homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
Shocker.
Others believe the desire of women is talking about Jesus Christ, because we have the prophecy in Isaiah 7:14 that Jesus would be born of a virgin, and according to Genesis 49:10, come from the tribe of Judah. This is very Jewish phrase. I think a lot of commentators aren't paying attention to that. Many Jewish girls or women in Israel desired to be the one selected to be the mom of Jesus Christ. It's just a known fact in that culture. You've got a whole other set of scholars believe the desire of women, he shall not have no desire of women, the Antichrist, is talking about the Catholic Church, that he will come against the Catholic Church. But these scholars think he's talking about the Catholic Church because of their high esteem of the Virgin Mary and the fact that they pray directly to Mary.
Interesting.
You know a few people that pray to Mary.
I do.
But many scholars believe that in the beginning, the Antichrist is going to embrace all religions, kind of like the last pope.
Yeah.
We're all worshiping the same God.
It's all just languages of the divine.
And then right after the rapture, right, all the fallen angels come down and they look beautiful and they tell us
great things that everybody wants to hear.
It's all the same. You're all worshiping the same.
Yeah.
He will eventually reject all religions. And when he turns completely on Israel, he will put down Islam, Hinduism, Mormonism, Buddhism, because it does say in verse 37, he will magnify himself above all.
Yeah.
And so,
wow.
and it says in verse 38, in his estate shall he honor the God of forces. This is very interesting. A God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold, silver, with precious stones and pleasant things. So he's going to honor a God that no one knows. Some scholars believe this refers to the God of power and war. Another, it would be a long explanation. Scholars believe he's referring to the strange God, and that it's referring to in the next verse. Listen to this. A lot of people believe this is actually the same fallen angel that empowered Alexander the Great. Verse 39. Thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory. And he shall cause them to rule over many, and he shall divide the land for gain. He's talking about dividing the land here. There are a lot of passages in the Old Testament where God pronounces judgment on those that would even put forward petitions to divide the land of Israel. Do you know the Bible foresaw that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That people would try to, it would be a constant clamor for a Palestinian state.
Yep.
And it's warning those people will be judged. The Biden administration was clamoring, if you paid any attention, to divide the land, and again and again and again. This is why the Bible is very clear to pray for your leaders. You know, you don't want them coming against the land. Even at the end of Trump's 20-point plan.
Oh, yeah.
At the end, it's a little bit murky. Right?
Yeah.
It kind of opens the door for a Palestinian state. And so the phrase, thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God. Many theologians believe it's the same leopard-like creature.
Yeah.
In the spirit. It's what that thing looks like in the spirit. Jerry, you still got that image? And it sends out of the bottomless pit. He's a revised version of what Alexander the Great had. They believe this leopard was locked away in the bottomless pit after the death of Alexander. I'm just giving you the opinions on commentators here. Mm-hmm. What are you doing, Lynn?
Well, I was reading because this says that the God of forces, this commentary.
The fortresses?
No, the God of forces. Didn't we just read that?
War and forces, yeah.
It's saying
God of forces, yeah.
that this is often interpreted as Antiochus Epiphanes the Fourth. No, Antiochus the Fourth Epiphanes, yes. And it's talking about military might and strength.
Interesting.
That's what this is saying. Are
yeah,
you reading that?
So what you're reading is they're taking the whole chapter, and they're saying this is all about
is it AI?
This.
Yeah, because it doesn't see the context. Yeah.
Can I explain?
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay. What you're doing is that is somebody that does not agree. They think that the whole chapter of Revelation 11 is still. They think they're still in the 400 years between
Daniel 11,
between the New Testament and the Old Testament. That's why we got Antiochus Epiphanes. Okay.
Right.
No, I believe you.
But this is not Antiochus Epiphanes, and I'm going to prove it if you just stay with it.
See, guys.
Okay.
This is what we do here. We prove things wrong.
Yeah.
It's not Antiochus Epiphanes.
I agree with you.
And this is what makes these scholars wrong. Yeah. This is the Antichrist. The angel switches. There's too much here about the Antichrist that does not line up with Antiochus Epiphanes. So that's why you just don't Google anything.
Yeah.
And let AI tell you what's going on.
Gosh, you guys, I have some AI content.
Okay. In anything, in any part of the Bible at this point.
Absolutely.
They're changing the Bible. All right.
Oh yeah.
And here's your deal, and it's very.
I'm reading a few commentaries, but that one I was like.
Did you watch the thing I sent you on AI where someone used AI to Google search something and they were looking for references, and so AI provided references, and it surprised the person because she was doing research, and she said, "Will you give me the website and the reference of it?" And it says, "We can't find that." And she asked it, "Why did you give me that?" She said, "Well, it looked like something you would want to read, and we gave it to you in the way that a knowledgeable source would provide it."
Oh,
so it's already lying.
We've already told you that. We've told you if you're going to Google stuff in the Bible or you're going to use AI, you're going to see that it's not trustworthy. Yep. Do you understand? So it's no different than TikTok, right? Like TikTok, there's 18 anti-Israel videos for every one of pro-Israel. It's the same thing. They're changing the Bible. So the days of Googling, if you're going to Google something or use AI for it, especially this kind of stuff, it's too easy for AI to scam,
to manipulate,
which is what's going on in whatever Lene is reading.
It
says in Revelation 13:2, you have a revised form of this leopard, okay? And John saw him with the feet of a bear, all right? Which this is in Revelation. He sees the leopard, but the leopard has the feet of the bear, Persian Empire, the mouth of a lion, traits of the Babylonian Empire, and so many, I would guess some scholars and commentators believe this leopard that comes out of the bottomless pit is a revised version of Alexander's demon, fallen angel, all right? And this is the strange god. I mean, it actually has this thing in Revelation We've read it to you many times.
Yeah.
Where this leopard comes back up out of the pit, but he's revised. And he's got a little bit of bear. He's got a little bit of the lion. And, while he's thinking he's causing everyone to worship himself, the Antichrist, people are actually honoring this fallen angel. And in Daniel 11:40, at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him. And the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots, with horsemen, with many ships, and he shall enter into the countries and shall overflow and pass over. Now, because the angel has jumped forward and we are in the tribulation, this is telling us we're assuming the king of the south, well, that's whoever is in charge of Egypt.
Yeah.
Lining up against the Antichrist. It's actually telling us Egypt attacks the Antichrist. Mm-hmm. And Egypt has a strong military. It really does. It has for the Middle East and what's going on over there. All right, this is why
they're pretty stable.
Many theologians believe Egypt will be one of the 10 kingdom federations within the 10 horns. All right? The king of the north is one of the biblical names of the Antichrist. I know that the king of the north was also the Seleucid dynasty, the first 35 verses. But remember that the angel changes time periods. It says in verse 40, and by the way, Antiochus Epiphanes, he liked women. He was married. Remember? He was married and remarried. Remember, he put away his wife. His wife came back. Okay, so it says in verse 40. You
put away your wife.
It gives the Egyptians a staggering defeat. And he enters into the countries. A good amount of commentators believe he overruns Greece and Turkey, along with Egypt. And it's the opinion of many that because he is referred to the king of the north, that this will be his place of origin. This is where the Antichrist comes from. Okay, Syria, right? The old Seleucid dynasty, a good number of people believe, good number of commentators and scholars believe that to study these things for a living, they believe that the Antichrist will come from one of these countries covered by the Seleucid dynasty, the king of the north, right? Which could be Syria. I'll give you these. And so in modern times, where was the Seleucid dynasty in modern times now? Besides Syria, it's Lebanon and Iraq. Okay? Lebanon and Iraq. And so they think he's going to have Syrian, Lebanese, or Iraqi blood along with Jewish.
Wow.
Did you know Emmanuel Macron with France has Syrian and Jewish blood? According to Joe Morris. According to Joe Morris.
Some people would say that he also doesn't like women.
Right. Look at his wife. What's up with that? I don't want to get sued. They're suing people.
Well, you can have an opinion without having facts. Like
it's my opinion. Look at his wife. There's something weird about that.
Yeah.
About Emmanuel Macron's wife.
But
Google his wife. That won't pull up something, Google it. They'll show us. Scholars that study the scripture, and that's all they do, believe that he is coming from any one of these countries. All right? The king of the north, the Seleucid dynasty, also covered Iran, Afghanistan, and some of Pakistan.
Yeah.
Okay? Pakistan. All right. So, but remember, Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, they're not part of the old Roman Empire. Okay? So, from the, from the 10 horns.
Right.
Okay? Daniel 7:7. So, they're not included in somewhat commentators believe is the origin of the Antichrist. All right? Daniel 11:41, he shall enter also into the glorious land. Many countries shall be overthrown, but these shall escape out of his hand. Edom, Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. And so this verse is talking about halfway through the tribulation, he invades Israel, breaks the 7-year non-aggression treaty that he has. Do you remember that?
I remember
that's one of the first things the Antichrist does, Linnea.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Is he makes a treaty with, and he brings peace to the
Middle East.
To the Middle East.
And this is talking about many countries being overthrown.
Same.
Scholars believe that these are parts of Europe. An interesting phrase here. Someone escapes him out of his hand.
Oh.
Edom, Moab, and the children of Ammon. This is interesting because it's the country of Jordan.
Yeah.
In modern day times.
Yeah.
Most people figure Jordan doesn't have that kind of power to withstand that kind of military onslaught. So the Lord is going to protect Jordan. Why do you think, John? Gee, why do you think?
I have ideas.
John has ideas. Do you have any ideas? You're just blank over there.
It's the home of
blank.
It's the home of Petra.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. What a coincidence. John. What a coincidence. So he leaves Jordan alone. Huh. Okay, the reason the Lord protects Jordan from the onslaught of the Antichrist armies, it'll have to do it. He's going to do it supernaturally because this is the area of the ancient Petra where the 144,000 Jews flee.
Yeah.
Wow.
And get away from him when he invades Israel. It will be at this point that Antichrist makes his bid for complete world domination.
Right.
Okay. I believe the Antichrist will think of Jordan at the time as inconsequential.
We're going to come back.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, and
that's what he's going to say.
Realistically.
Right. Now,
but boy, will he be surprised.
Yeah.
Well, Daniel 11:42 through 45, he shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. And he shall have power over the treasures of gold, of silver, over all the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. Tidings out of the east and out of the north will trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy and utterly make away many. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas and the glorious land and the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and no one's going to help him.
That's great.
Rumors from the east, China.
Yeah, John's found Linnea.
I'm really bad with directions.
North,
I couldn't tell you what.
Russia.
Yes, John, that's good. We have the Antichrist.
Do you know?
He's making a bid for world domination.
We can do the Russia.
So you don't get this.
Very good.
You don't get this kind of detail in Revelation.
Очень хорошо.
I mean, you got Egypt attacking the Antichrist. Actually, Egypt was the first country that he goes to war with. And remember, it said in verse 40, they attacked him. He will not only plunder Egypt, but it also indicates he will claim to unlock many of the mysteries of the tombs and the pyramids.
Which is crazy because there are...
all wrapped up in the UFO stuff.
Right.
And the mystery that are behind a lot of the things in Egypt.
And the UFO stuff, 100% is Nephilim stuff.
For sure.
Yes.
100%. They're not coming from distant galaxies. Yeah. I think... I don't want to muddy the waters here, but we look in over the last 5-10 years, there's been so much emphasis on the James Webb telescope, which is massive telescope.
The one in Arizona?
The one that's it's a satellite
that's
orbiting.
It's
called the James Webb telescope. And they're basically saying that they've used this telescope to map the entire galaxies and massive graphics that they've released that you can zoom in and zoom in and zoom in and see stars. Like you can keep zooming in along, but I think it also is an opportunity to deceive a lot of people because it's all digital graphics that you're coming back with. They're using James Webb to track the 3AI Atlas comet / interstellar body that is traveling through our solar system right now. It's going to go around the sun here pretty soon. Anyway, I'm just saying there's a lot of things that are setting up with Nephilim, AI or aliens, and other things that you can't actually prove, but they're just reporting. Everybody reports the James Webb stuff as truth. And I think this is saying Egypt and a lot of the things that they've been scratching the surface of the last couple of years they're going to start revealing some of the ancient past things, and they're like, oh wow, and so they're gonna gain a lot of trust. The Nephilim are going to gain a lot of trust from the public because of what they see. But I also think in Egypt, if the king of the north gets Egypt, they also then control the Suez Canal. They really start dominating that entire Mediterranean area once they take that area.
Yeah, and you think about they just had a whole week on the Stories channel of ancient aliens.
Yeah.
And they do the pyramid thing with the ancient aliens. And I just think that's interesting that we've got here in the very book of Daniel.
Yeah.
How he unlocks a lot of the mysteries. The Antichrist himself unlocks a lot of the mysteries of the pyramids. And he not only plunders Egypt, but indicates that he claims to unlock many of these mysteries and the pyramids and the mysteries behind a lot of the things that happen in Egypt. It also says in verse 43, he basically will overrun North Africa. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of theologians teach that the Antichrist will conquer the whole world, but the Bible, especially here in Daniel, is very clear on what parts of the world he controls. There is no scriptural evidence that he overtakes any part of the United States or the North or South American continents, but he will have heavy influence over every country in the world. And if you were to study what we know he controls, which is the territory of the old Roman Empire, it would be, we know the Antichrist will control England, Portugal, Spain, France, the Netherlands, Belgium, Switzerland, Italy, Austria, Yugoslavia, the former Yugoslavia, Bulgaria, Romania, Greece, Turkey, Lebanon, Syria, and Iraq. He'll defeat Israel 3.5 years into the tribulation. Egypt, Libya, Algeria, Morocco, all the countries in the Middle East, and just a little. And so that's what he's going. We know.
Right.
Those are the countries that fall within the old Roman Empire.
Right.
Wait, aren't Jimmy and Stephanie in Morocco?
Yeah, they're in Morocco right now.
Shout out to Jimmy.
What's up,
and
brother?
Stephanie, I mean both.
Do you think they still watch from way over there?
Jimmy checks in now and again.
So
does it? Yeah.
So continuing to break down verses 44 and 45 of chapter 11, it's talking about the Antichrist attacking Israel, defeating Israel, and it seems like they're going to be eliminated completely. But then it says tidings out of the east and the north trouble him.
Ew.
Very troublesome.
So it's referring to the fact that in the middle of his invasion of Israel, before he can completely take care of them, other countries come against him, and he has to stop what he's doing with Israel, direct his armies at these other nations. And there's a phrase that says, to utterly make away many, which says that he's going to get victory over these other nations. And it seems as if from these verses, the Jews are fleeing, and we know they go to the Petra, the mountain range in Jordan, and they hide 144,000 Jews. What a coincidence. He leaves Jordan alone. These tidings that interrupted his extermination of the Jewish people in Daniel 11:44, you can see in Revelation 12:16. It says, the earth helped the woman, that's Israel, not the church, the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. So, theologians believe this is referring to a gigantic earthquake which takes place while Israel is on the run out of Jerusalem. It interrupts the Antichrist bid. It causes his army to have to back off the Jews. And many scholars believe the phrase in Revelation 12:16, swallow up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. If it's truly an earthquake, the ground opens up and swallows up part of his army. That's swallowing the Antichrist army. Scholars believe that these nations that come against them, or should I say some scholars think that it's Russia and Japan and China. Mm-hmm. Russia from the north, as it says in verse 44. China in the east. Those are the strongest in those areas. And these two countries, along with Japan or South Korea or in the east, are watching him and seeing that he's just basically unstoppable. Commentators believe that they form a union, but he quickly defeats them.
Yeah.
And so just closing
with
out.
great wrath to destroy and annihilate many.
Yep. So it's really saying that he takes over the newly built temple. It said in Daniel 8 that he stopped the sacrifices. He makes the tribulation temple his palace. He takes 3.5 years in, and it's going on in Israel because of the phrase "the glorious land." Always means Israel. And it says he actually makes his palace in the glorious holy mountain, and that is Mount Moriah, where the tribulation temple is located.
It's interesting in the NASB 1995. It says he'll pitch tents of his royal pavilion between the seas and the beautiful mountain.
And so, as we see, it says that he is destroyed, and all that, and we all know that's the Battle of Armageddon. But you've got millennialists who believe there is no rapture, saying that these passages have already been fulfilled, and they use Antiochus Epiphanes.
Jesus was just crazy talking there in Matthew 24.
But that's just, you know why that's disproven? Antiochus Epiphanes, we know from military history, died in Persia. So this isn't Antiochus Epiphanes, right? He died in Persia at a place called Tabor. Antiochus Epiphanes, the one that Linnea brought up. These scriptures are not about Antiochus Epiphanes. Yeah. We know how Antiochus Epiphanes died. And what we're about to go over to, the next one we do is Daniel 12, which is significantly shorter. And I have to tell you, then we go back to just shorter messages. It was really, really just too hard. You can't break up Daniel. It's really hard to break up Daniel into 15, 20-minute messages. Like if you do,
I wouldn't even think of it.
You just can't, right? You just can't. You're leaving off in the middle of something big that you have to re-explain the next week. But the messages that I do will get shorter starting next week, I believe.
Potentially.
Here's Linnea with the news.
Yeah, here I am. But I wanted to say something because you said that the Antichrist will tell everybody all the special tricks of things that happened.
Yeah.
He'll give wisdom and explain how the pyramids were built. And I was listening. In Exodus where like the temple and the tabernacle was being built and you're kind of like, okay, like you're listening to all the details of everything God's telling them that they need. But I caught something in it this time that I've never heard before. And you catch something different every time you read the Bible. But I was trying to look up the exact verse, but it was basically saying that God gave these two guys special wisdom and skill of how to build this stuff. Right. And they couldn't explain it to anyone. And they kept getting things from the Israelites. They're like bringing things to them. And they're like, okay, we have enough. We just want to like go out and build this the way God told us to. And I kind of thought about that with like things that we can't explain in our minds, like the pyramids or whatever else it may be, right? Like there had to be some, like Noah and the ark. How does some random guy just learn how to like build this crazy ark that's going to carry every animal? He could only get that wisdom from God.
Right.
And I was like, okay, like that was a revelation to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I thought like, oh, these people are smart enough. But no, obviously you had a special talent from the Lord that he gave you. And you're like, oh, I'm going to go build that exactly how God wanted it. Anyways.
Or he
not AI.
Or he gave him, like special wisdom.
Yeah, it said.
Right.
And I was like, I never heard that before. So in case you were wondering how these things happen, God, obviously. Okay. Maybe you guys heard this, but this shouldn't shock us, right? We had open borders for 4 years under Biden, but the FBI this past weekend arrested an October 7th terrorist who was living in the United States in Louisiana. Oh, yeah. The guy, you guys, his phone was pinged near one of the bloodiest massacre sites on October 7th, okay? He came over here. Oh, and he also had videos and pictures on his phone of that day, okay? Celebrating kidnappings on social media. But he got his green card in 2024 under the Biden regime after lying about his affiliations, claiming he planned to work in car repairs or food services in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But he's in... People
Thanks,
probably
Rilla.
saw Rollo's tail. But he was found in Louisiana. This is what Trump's administration is doing. I think he's caught, like his foot.
Tess.
Yeah, I got him.
Okay.
Did he pull your? Did he pull your?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
No, but he was on a cord.
Yeah,
Sorry, guys.
he got
Rollo
my
was in here.
he got my.
So,
headset
anyways,
for a while.
this is what Trump is doing with ICE. These are the kind of crazy people they're eradicating from the United States.
Yeah.
You had an October 7th terrorist
Yeah.
in the United States.
Wow, that vetting for the Biden administration was just so good.
He lied? Like, come on. Okay.
Yeah.
Then did you guys hear isn't that interesting? Where did I say he was found? Oh,
In,
Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Okay. Then did you guys see the Trump attack, the pro-Hamas cyber attack, and anti-Trump attack that was at the Pittsburgh airport on the loudspeakers? The whole place was shut down last week, and it kept saying like rhetoric about free Palestine, death to Trump.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, hackers.
Hackers
hacked in, and so that's what the airport experienced.
Come here, buddy.
Really? Okay. So this section is all about ICE. I thought you were going to sing it.
Dun. Ice.
Yeah, there we go, John.
Ding, ding,
See,
ding,
look, it
ding,
literally
ding,
says Ice, Ice,
Ding,
Baby
ding,
Ice.
ding, 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 ding.
Okay. So the Department
Stop.
of Homeland,
Collaborate and listen.
Is that what he says? Collaborate.
Yeah.
ICE is back with a brand new edition. Something is holding me tightly. That's about.
Daily and nightly.
Yeah, but hey,
Will it ever stop?
what's
don't
his
know.
name? Vanilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He's a Republican, guys. But
Yeah.
anyways, the
Okay.
Department of Homeland
Well, that makes
Security.
him great.
It does.
Jared Van Winkle. Jason Van Winkle. That's what his name is. Jason. Thanks, Jason.
Spent $51 million on deportation ads this year. And guess what? 1.6 million illegal immigrants have self-deported.
Great.
Yeah, that is great.
Wonderful. Good for them.
Yep.
Hey, one out of 30 million.
Yep. It's a start. So, but okay, this is interesting because remember we've talked about commercial driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
How let's just Minnesota, for example, has given, what did I read? What was this stat? 60,000 plus commercial driver's license to illegal immigrants.
Wow.
Okay. Once these illegal immigrants have their license, they can go vote because like if you try to register online and things don't match up, okay, you get flagged. But if you go
Right.
in person and you show your driver's license,
Yeah.
they don't have anything to flag. You don't have to give a social security number.
I watched
or anything.
I watched one of the Walz administration officials, take questions on that, and he's like, "Well, it's on them to report whether or not that they're a citizen or not. But there's no verification."
But I did see Frank, what's his name on CBS, Vascaleras.
Yeah.
They were running a thing this morning of
Frank
how they're
Vascaleras?
Yeah. WCCO.
Okay.
They were running a report of how there was election fraud.
Yes,
And
there was.
over, what was it, 500 plus people, or maybe it was 5,000 plus people in over 13 counties got flagged for election fraud in our last election.
Yeah.
So, like, come on. And now you have, you've had the left for the last, 4+ years saying there's no election fraud.
No election fraud.
Oh, so he's saying on our end?
Yeah, now he's saying.
Like we're cheating?
No, now he's saying,
No.
hey, guys, we have caught election fraud. You are right to bring this to our attention. We're now
Thanks,
reporting
Frank.
on it. Yes.
He's married to the lady?
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I'm getting
But
tired
Frank
of
must
watching
be
them.
on Ozempic because Frank's really thin.
Brozempic.
Okay. But ICE operation has arrested 91 illegal immigrants with commercial driver's license in Oklahoma. They did a sting for 10 days. I think we've talked
Hold
about
on,
other
91?
stings.
Did
91.
you say there's 60,000 we've handed out?
Yes.
Okay.
60,000 driver's license,
Oh,
not commercial driver's
Okay,
license,
driver's.
Right.
but that can include commercial.
Right.
Oh, wait, hold on, you guys, because
Unbelievable.
Minnesota we are on the list that we have given illegal immigrants commercial driver's license.
Yep.
That means they can be driving semi-trucks.
Yeah.
And have you driven by, I know we've mentioned this before, but I pray now when I go by semi-trucks. I used to trust semi-truck drivers. My father-in-law was one. He would always tell us how safety protocol it
Yeah.
was because he would drive a double semi-truck for
Right.
UPS, right? And everything they had to do, they don't do that anymore. You get a commercial driver's license, you get to go out on the freeway and drive those down the interstate. But ICE agents took a 3-day operation in September on Interstate 40 in Oklahoma, and they were disrupting it, and they caught 120, but 91 of them with illegal commercial driver's license.
I wonder if they don't have a name on it. Did you see the one in New York?
Oh, no, but they're on my list.
Well, there was one in New York. New York was handing out driver's licenses for these guys to drive trucks without a name.
Oh, yeah. I did see that. I saw that a couple weeks ago.
There's no name registered.
We have, if you go back like 4 episodes, we have news on it, but we didn't talk about it. Name not given.
Like that. Yeah.
Like
that's what New York's doing.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and California.
But what do you expect out of them? They're going to vote for Mondani.
My gosh. I actually, you guys got to pray against that. I saw today that he has 62% of the votes of the Democrat, and Andrew Cuomo only has 24%. Not that I want Andrew Cuomo, but you guys, what are we doing over there in New York?
Well,
you're literally...
Let's let them taste it. Let's let them get in there and taste it. Taste a little Mondani. Let's see what he does for you, New Yorkers. You're stupid enough, right?
Stupid.
And here's the thing. The people that vote for him, they're going to be gone in 2 or 3 years? They're going to move out of there? You're going to suck it up, right? You're going to go to the empty free. They're going to go to the grocery store.
The grocery store is going to be empty. I saw that.
Like social workers, doing domestic disturbances instead of cops. Mm-hmm. That's one of the most dangerous things a cop can go into is a domestic disturbance.
I saw Mamdani. I don't know what he was on, but he was saying that all the rich people, like the uber rich people in New York, he's going to tax them 50%. Yeah. And he's like, you're going to be happy because your money will be going to help other people. Okay, so you're going to tax me 50%. Let's say you make 50. Well, I saw him say 50%. But
they're already at 50.
The uber wealthy?
Yes.
I mean, I know you can.
In New York?
Yes, it's gonna go up to 52%.
Pay attention, New York. What 52%. Are you doing? Sad.
And the governor has said she's not gonna raise the
Kathy
taxes.
Hochul?
See, just because he's mayor of New York doesn't mean he gets to raise the taxes. Are you aware of that? They're gonna have to raise taxes to pay for all. He needs $10 billion to do all the things that he wants to do. They have to raise the taxes. Big time on the rich, and the figures I saw was that the rich would be paying, they'd be paying 52% of their income.
Close to 50.
Right.
But Mamdani's wife, did you guys see that one of the October 7th terrorists died, obviously?
Yeah.
Because he got killed. And she posts a post and says how sad she is that her beloved friend got killed.
Oh, man.
That's how close they are, okay?
Right.
And if you listen to reports, I know Megyn Kelly had somebody on the other day who was going through Mamdani's whole past. He is closely tied to the terrorists, okay?
Right.
All the networks, right there. They were explaining how his father and where he grew up in, I can't remember which country he grew up in, wherever he is from, right? That they're closely tied to terrorist networks.
His mom's a socialite.
Yes.
But his dad...
Socialite. Yeah. Look... If they're idiots enough to vote for him, let them live in his squalor. Look what New York's going to turn into.
But the problem with that is then other states see that, like you have the Dearborn, Michigan guy running, and then they get empowered.
It just
other states see that, but they see that they're going to see within 2 to 3 years. His stuff's not going to work.
But I don't know that they matter. I don't know that people will care because they're trying to overrun us with their propaganda.
Overrun.
You mean like how?
I mean
like no
how
voting or something?
Ilhan Omar is trying to come in and take over Minnesota, and how we have a bunch of Somalian people here pushing all that. I'm just saying then you have those people going, and then you have other people rising up in other states who now feel empowered because New York voted
in a lot of races. Things are decided by 10,000 votes or less, and then when you insert 90,000 other people that are going to almost 100% vote one way, it disrupts the balance of the voting power.
It took my daughter a year to get a Tennessee driver's license. I'm just saying a year and a half.
They're not doing things.
I'm just saying you can't just go move to New York and vote. Okay, you have to get a valid driver's license from whatever state. If you move from Minnesota to another state and you're going to live in that state, you've got to go through to get anything. At least I know how it works with Tennessee. She couldn't get anything in Tennessee until she got that Tennessee driver's license. I'm just saying. So,
well,
just because,
in order to get a driver's license
within
in another
2 years
state,
of Mamdani getting in, if you think 2 million people are moving to Muslims are moving to New York,
that wasn't my point.
What do you mean overrun New York?
I'm saying like then you're going to have the Muslim leaders empowered and trying to run in other states because now you have people infiltrating to those places. Like when you move to another state and you want a driver's license, I'm not saying.
And what do you mean infiltrating?
I'm saying then the Muslim Brotherhood they're empowered and they're like, hey, like let's get in here, let's go to Dearborn, Michigan, let's get in Minnesota, let's get in New York. Now let's make it bigger and bigger, and then they keep running and voting. And we're not here saying like let's stop it. We're saying like let it run. Well, we're trying to be a voice to be like, hey, let's I understand. Yeah, what are we doing? If we don't stop it here, then they're gonna keep.
I don't agree. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think he's going to run New York into the ground within 2 to 3 years, right?
Right. I don't disagree, but
And so, hint.
Well,
you want more of that? Do we vote for more of that then? You think that's going to attract voters?
I think my point would be.
I'm just asking.
I would say.
I understand.
I would say
I'm not being difficult. I'm just saying I don't agree.
Right.
Let them, if they're going to vote him in, they're stupid, and it's going to run that city into the ground. I've never loved New York as it is. I'm just saying I don't know that that'll exactly be a great thing for them, for the left. If anything,
agree,
it'll hurt them, and I think it'll hurt them.
I think we have an example of that here in Minneapolis, where Minneapolis has started chasing out people. People don't want to be in Minneapolis anymore, and so people who are, whether they're Democrat or Republican, they are seeing that Minneapolis is not a good investment. And so Minneapolis is dying quickly, but they're also getting more and more power. And that's why you have people like
I don't
Omar
quite understand
Feta.
Look,
in 2020, we've got
done
Jacob
episodes,
Fry.
We've done episodes saying this place has been infested with communists since the 1920s, okay?
Yeah, right.
We're talking about Minneapolis. We're talking about Minnesota. We're talking about the Iron Range. We're talking about the state of Minnesota. So you can say anything you want about all that. We have been infested with communists since the 1920s.
Yeah.
All right?
Right.
Going back to Paul Wellstone. What was that? Early 80s?
80s, 90s, yeah.
So, I don't know. Minneapolis is not New York. I'm just saying we have not. Jacob Fry is not an out and out communist that is siding with the liberal or siding with the PLO. His wife isn't writing love notes to the dead.
But Jacob Fry is now speaking
we can agree to disagree.
Somalian in ads.
If they vote Mamdani in, it's not going to help them.
No.
All right, in 2029. Trust me, they're going to look at that city and they're going to see it for what it is. They're going to see the garbage. They're going to see the crime. They're going to see the out of controlness, right? And I don't think it's going to, on a national scale, it's going to help them. You can think it's going to, but
I don't think it's helping them. That's not my point.
I don't think the Somalis overtaking Minneapolis is exactly helping these other cities. Linnea seems to think this will cause them to spread and take over the country. If Mamdani gets in, I think they're going to look at that and it's going to hurt them.
I hope.
And in the 2028, 2029, by the time all his ridiculous programs, if he even raises the money, he needs $10 billion to do the things that he wants to do. So,
and Mamdani, who's a multi-millionaire, probably maybe a billionaire, lives in a rent-controlled apartment where he's paying like $1,000, right? Or something crazy. Like I was listening to it. They're like, he shouldn't live in a rent-controlled place. Like that is for people who can't afford apartments in New York, right? So it's like your rent is controlled. My kids live in a house in California where it's rent-controlled. So they move in. You can't raise the rent until they move out and somebody else comes in, right? So their housing can only go up X% every time. And Mamdani's living in it. I don't know how we got
on him. He's an idiot. And,
he is an idiot.
If they vote him in, they're idiots. And we'll see.
He's so scary,
We'll see how they're,
But you wonder if like that's all like part of it, right? Like
part of what?
Like, I mean, obviously the Antichrist isn't going to just come in and like turn the whole world. There's like a little spider webs that start before him.
Yeah.
Of evil, I guess.
Mean, I would
like you look at Gavin Newsom in California and you're like, he's an evil man. Like you look at him and he is... Speaking of California, okay?
You want America to be weak.
Right. And we talked about that, 2 or 3 weeks ago when
Yeah.
we did the one on Islam, how Islam wants America weak, how they come in when America's men are weak. That's all we're trying to say is like freaking stand up for things in America if you're a man and a woman, but obviously men are leaders. So, okay. Hope that comes out correctly. Okay, so we've talked about California's bill SB 495.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So that's a bill where I heard it first with Jack Hibbs. He was talking about it. It's for illegal immigrants to protect their children if the parents and the kids got separated. Okay, that's how it started. It's called like the Family Preparedness Act. Okay.
However,
it was said during all that people read through it and they realized that all you had to do during that time, if it got passed, was go on the California website, print off a piece of paper. I could say like, I want Rollo as I see Rollo. Rollo wants to be my kid. Sign my name, sign Rollo's name. Take remove
him out of
parental guardianship over then
it's
the dog. Okay,
self-filled affidavit. So it's not even like
legal.
It goes through somebody else. It's just a piece of paper that you can print off on the California website
and give to the school.
And go to the school
and take someone else's.
So
kid.
it started being an illegal immigrant or whatever immigrant program, but the actual bill doesn't specify immigrant or not. This would apply to any child.
Right.
Any child in California.
Otherwise, someone can steal your kid.
Yeah.
And it's going to cause a lot of problems.
And Jack Hibbs is like, if your child is in public school, homeschool them. Okay? So Gavin Newsom, then this bill went through everything, and then they put it behind closed doors. Gavin Newsom signs it. He signs the bill. He signs the bill and says this is to protect parents' rights and children's rights. Then he comes on to say state law requires that changes in parents' legal custody or guardianship requires a decision from the court. This is just to preserve their legal right as parents. And he's saying schools, with advice from the California Department of Justice, can help families be prepared with safety plans for their kids if the separation is due to federal immigration enforcement. Okay, this bill does not make any changes to who can be a child's caregiver, legal custodian, guardian, or parent without a court order. That's what they have when they say Gavin Newsom signed the bill. These are the 3 points I have, which is a lie. Okay, it's a lie.
He's lying.
He is lying.
So all that to say is, like, unfortunately, that bill did pass. So, like, if you're in California, you really need to pay attention.
I wouldn't let my kid out of my sight.
I wouldn't either.
I would not let my kid out of my sight.
I told my daughter, and
I lived in California.
She wanted to stay in California forever, and she's like, now I have to start looking at where I'm going to move because I don't want to be here with that. And then we'll end on this note. Congress investigators collected a stunning 30 million lines of phone data mapping contacts between conservatives and the Trump White House in the name of investigating January 6th. So don't you have a bunch to say about that? Remember Jack Smith and his little January 6th committee? Mm-hmm. They ended up pulling illegally 30 million phone lines, getting text messages from the carriers, finding out phone calls. Illegally on 30 million conservatives.
Americans.
Yes. That's
what they did. They listened in on 30 million Americans stemming from the January 6th committee.
And
that's been proven.
And they also targeted, remember they had Arctic Frost that was targeting dozens of GOP officials and organizations at that time. So Grassley, I can't remember his first name.
Chuck.
Okay. He said last Tuesday that he had sent 4 letters to Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and I don't know what Lumen is, saying that they have to give all their records to Congress of what information they passed over to special counsel Jack Smith as part of the investigation, because he said they did it illegally and without knowledge.
Are they going to go after Jack Smith?
They're trying, but
he's annoying.
The most that'll happen, I was looking at something on that, is that he can be censured in a couple of states.
Right.
That's it?
Yeah. Like for his stuff. That's what I saw that yesterday. But,
I figured.
You know who he reminds me of, who always screwed Jack Smith up? Who was the guy who used to own Twitter? Jack Dorsey? Yes. I don't know why I always get them mixed up with each other and think they're the same person.
I don't know. I don't know what Jack Smith looks like.
So we will be back next week, Daniel chapter 12. And then we'll start a new path.
Something.
A new podcast path. Be praying for that. We pray for you. let's just close it with prayer here. Lord, we pray over this country, United States of America, and we pray over the state of Minnesota and all of our viewers, listeners, and subscribers across the board on every social media platform. And in the name of Jesus Christ, we, from our seat of authority in the heavenlies, out of our heavenly ministry today, we are binding the principalities, the powers, the rulers of the darkness of this world, the spiritual wickedness in high places. Behind any spirit or spirit, we are binding behind violence, murder, mass murder, assault, sexual assault, home invasion, carjacking. We're binding that transgender demon here that's so prevalent in Minnesota, throughout our country, any mass terrorist attack, any type of device that would shut off the power in great areas of the country, any kind of natural disaster. We're binding those things, the spirit of spirits behind those things, the spirit of spirits, we're binding you. But behind social unrest, behind civil war, we bind it. We loose you from your assignments on our lives. We bind any spirit or spirit concerning anyone listening or watching. Behind any type of, sometimes it can be any sickness, disease, accident, injury, virus, any verbal, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical type attack, any social media type attack, terrorist, dangerous, violent type attack. We loose you from your assignments on every single person that can hear my voice. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Amen.
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 We'll see you next week.